Hey y'all, Nick Pomeroy here with PR Equipment in Kearns, Texas. Today we want to talk about the Spartan RZ series. So this video is really directed towards you. If you're out thinking about shopping for a new mower, you've got maybe somewhere between half an acre and maybe even an acre and a half. Maybe you're fixing to head up to one of the big box stores to pick out a new mower. This video is directed towards you because I want you to understand that what sets this mower apart and that it's actually very affordable. So the Spartan RZ series comprises 4 models. So there's a 48 inch and there's a 54 inch, and you can either get that with the Briggs & Stratton or you can get that with the Kawasaki. This behind me is the RZ54 with the Briggs & Stratton engine. This particular mower has a 25 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine, a 54 inch deck, and the cash price on this is $39.99. So in payments would look like maybe around 82, 83 bucks a month, just depending on how you finance it, but it can be very, very affordable. And so what I want you to do is kind of think about that in terms of maybe you're going to the box store and you want to get a good riding, zero turn mower. I think you're going to find the prices are very similar, but I want you to see what you get here versus what you get there. So there's a few things that I want to point out, especially when it comes to this deck. The deck is the most important part, right? If you go buy some mower, a cheap mower, you'll find that the deck is usually what wears out the fastest. And so with our RZ series, this year we've made a few upgrades to the deck. It's now a 7-gauge deck. That's absolutely as thick as even our commercial mowers, but it's also a fully welded deck. So there's no stamped steel here. That's very, very important. If you guys are out shopping for a mower, that you find a very heavy duty deck, because you don't want the deck to wear out before the mower. You don't want the mower to outlast the deck, basically. One other thing, a lot of times when you're shopping for a mower, you're going to see this flap, and it's going to be a cheap plastic chute, right? And you can also tell how thin the metal is by looking in there, that it's a cheap plastic chute and a cheaper deck. We've got this heavy duty rubber deflector, but it's also a deflector that stays up by itself. So I'm sure there's some of you out there that have maybe put a bungee up on your strap to keep it out of the way, whether you're pulling into a barn or whatever you need it. Maybe you're discharging a lot of grass. Our chute is going to hold itself up, and so that's very important. It's kind of a nice feature. Simple, but nice. But it's also not a cheap rubber flap like you see on some of the other mowers. A few other things to point out here is we're going to support all of our scalping wheels on both sides. You might have been around a mower where it's been supported on one side, and as soon as you hit something, it's bent clear out of the way. So we're supporting them on both sides, and that really eliminates the need for that. So coming around, it's a very comfortable, it's a very plush seat, and it's actually got some seat suspension under here, what we call the GBR7s, to give it a pretty darn nice ride. One thing you'll also find with all Spartan mowers is how easy they are to work on or to clean. They want these mowers to be very easy to maintain. So like to get to our deck, all you gotta do is remove that panel and you can access the top of the deck. You can clean it. If you gotta change a belt or a pulley down the road, it's very easy to access all this. One thing while we're sitting here talking in this angle is the anti-vibration system that we have here. So the anti-vibration system is unique to Spartan, and what that does is you have a spring to tension your belt. Well, we add a little shock absorber on there to take some of that belt width out. Here again, it's a premium feature that we offer on every Spartan mower. So a few other things to note when we start talking about the RZ series is we still use this the shock assisted deck lift for your foot, right? So it's very comfortable and easy to lift the deck. We're also going to utilize this pin style deck height system, so you can quickly and easily change your deck height to wherever you might need it to be. So you put that there. It's got a transport lock. You flip it out of the way, and you can lower the deck to the position you need it. But what's important to keep in mind is how easy it is to relift that deck. And the transport lock actually automatically sets, so when you push it all the way forward, it'll put itself back in transport if you got to pull into a garage or over a hump, up on a trailer, over a curb, something like that. That makes that real nice. One other thing, let's talk about the park brake controls. So our park brake utilizes a 2-pedal system. It doesn't matter if you buy our cheapest Spartan or you buy our most expensive Spartan, you get this same control. It utilizes a solid steel rod going all the way to the back. So here again, maintenance free, guys. We want this mower to last you a long time, but in doing so, we want it to be very simple so there's less parts to wear out on you. Talking about controls for a second, it's very very smooth and easy to control, this mower. It gives you a lot of control, and it's very nice for say a newcomer that's maybe new to the zero-turn market. This is going to be a very easy mower to learn and very easy to drive. It'll actually be a lot of fun for most people. Moving over here, we actually have a cup holder on here, so if you need your iced tea or whatever, it's got a cup holder right here. But we actually have a push-button start. This is a common control panel that we use on every Spartan mower. The neat thing about that is it gives us a lot of control over the mower and how it's operating. So we have a tachometer and a voltmeter. You don't see that on very many mowers, and you definitely don't see that on a lot of residential mowers. We also have, it keeps track of when to change the oil. So it's got a service minder. I don't think you'll see that on very many mowers either, but it'll tell you when to change your engine oil. And one thing I really like about it, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but if you get on your mower and you go to crank it and for some reason it just won't start, maybe it's the first time for the year and you can't quite remember like what the sequence is, whether you got to have, you know, the PTO or the foot pedal or whatnot, or something's got to be in just a specific place to make it start. Our control panel will tell you if anything is out of place. So if any of your safety switches are on because maybe your arms aren't pushed out far enough, or maybe you left your deck on or whatnot, it tells you what safety switches are out of place. I find this to be a really handy feature. And once all those red lights go out for those safety switches, you get the green light and it's time to start. That's really handy for me to be able to maybe if I'm even communicating to my wife or to my son, hey, you know, this is why it won't start, you know, or they call me and say, hey, the mower won't start. I can kind of tell them like, hey, what red lights do you have? And that kind of gives me an idea of how to help them troubleshoot it. One other thing, we have a soft start engagement of our PTO. So it's all controlled through the control panel, but this mower is designed to not hammer the PTO on. And when we do that, we're saving wear and tear on items, but it also doesn't pull the engine down quite so hard. It makes for smoother operation. A couple more things that we want to talk about before we finish up is engine options and drive system. So with engine options, we have our Briggs & Stratton and we have the Kawasaki options. And one thing to note is that this is the commercial series of Briggs & Stratton. We utilize on this mower the Tough Torque 400s. So the Tough Torque 400 drive systems, they're air cooled, they have a charge pump. So they're very reliable, come with a great warranty. But on the engine, this is something I like to point out because I've been to the box stores and I've seen some of the other mowers that they're offering, is that down here you can see that this is a cast intake. If you spend much time looking at the box stores, you're going to see a lot of plastic here. Notice that that's not the series of engine that we're using on this. We're using the commercial Briggs & Stratton. This has proven to be a very reliable engine for us, and we've sold a bunch of mowers with it. So I have no qualms about recommending this engine. I think it's a good engine. Obviously the Kawasaki is a great engine as well, so it gives you two options to kind of bounce between. But the Tough Torque drive systems have proven to be very reliable. In 2020, they actually upgraded them to the Tough Torque 400s, so we've had very good luck with those. That used to be what they put in the Pro Series, and now it's what they put in the RZ. And we've really kept the prices basically the same. So I just wanted you guys to kind of get an idea before you go out shopping, maybe what an alternative is. Maybe it's worth coming to check this out. Maybe it's worth taking this for a drive here at a dealer. And also, just to highlight a few other things that you get when you buy maybe a Spartan from us, is you get that dealership experience. You're not just a number. You're not just coming and getting checked out by some kid that doesn't know what they're talking about. We know these mowers, we know what we're selling, we know how to take care of them, and we also supply parts and service, and all the warranty is handled in-house. So before you go make that mower purchase, really think about what you're getting and think about your options. Maybe it's at least worth taking a look at Spartan. Thanks, guys.